Well, folks, I'm LA Little, TA today, and today I want to address two burning issues. One, how do you know how low this market can go? You just had this big setback here, 2.5, almost 3%. Is that it? Is there more to go? You need to be able to answer that question, right? Not will it go that far, just how far could it go and still be normal? Because that's what you're really interested in. When it becomes not normal, then you have a problem. The second question is, how do you improve your own trading? And I want to give you access to a Discord channel that I run that will give you a lot of that kind of information. You can learn a lot. I'm a trader, a professional trader, wrote 4 books now, and I live this stuff, right? Have for 30 years, 35 almost. And if you're interested in learning how to trade, this is me giving back to you, giving back to the community. I'm not asking for anything in return. So if you want that information, you want to be able to do that, stick around. I give you access to that. I'll just take the first 25 people. I don't want to get too crowded, but I'll open up the Discord channel to you folks, which is what the members see. All right. So enough of that. Let's hit these charts. Okay, so the question of how low do you know this market will go, or at least how low can it go and still be normal? That question is really answered by taking and putting up your retest regen zones, right? Retest regen, by definition, a retest regen is anytime there's a breakout. So this swing point high was broken right here on this arrow. That's the breakout. So what you want to do is you want to see a test of that area. Now, usually within 1 or 2 bars, like here or here, it would come back and test it. Well, this one took 5. And that's not abnormal either. Usually it's going to be within 6, 90% of the time. And so if that's the case, and it comes back and test, then the question is it going to hold? Well, in this case, you can see it did almost a full retest, held, regenerated, came back, tested again, held, regenerated, and then took off, right? That's a regeneration. Now, it doesn't always work that way. For example, if I take over here and look at this, here's a swing point high. That was the retest regen zone. Here's the breakout right here, right? Within 1 bar, it comes back, and then 2 bars, it actually fails. That can happen too. Now that usually is a warning sign that you're going to try and break a swing point low. Where were those at the time? Well, that one actually just printed at the time, and this one was already there. So you had 2 of them. That was a dangerous situation, right? If it gets underneath these, it's going to push to the downside, break, right? Give you a decent pullback. It didn't though. It took off. Okay, so the question is now is like, where might it go this time? Well, as you can see with this break here, it broke this swing point low. So you can expect within 1 to 2 bars, it's going to come back in and test this area. Now, if it gets over the top, that says it fails. That top 6619. So if you see the S&P close on Monday or Tuesday or anytime this week, greater than 6619, then this is probably done. If it doesn't do that, and let's say it does bounce up and then starts down again, what would that be? That would be a regeneration. Now, to the question of how far can it go? Well, you can expect that your retest regen is how far it can go. And so in this particular case, though, it's already been tested twice. Twice is more than once, right? Is orange. That says the probability that this is going to regenerate is very low, right? Probably won't do it. So if that's the case, you got to go the next time frame, and you got to say, okay, well, what does it look like over here? And so if I put up the retest regen zones here, you can see here, number one, they haven't been tested yet, which means more than likely it's been more than 6 bars. That's a key number. More than likely, like 90% of the time, if it gets back to here, it's going to get bought. So that is your target. And that price point in this case, 6147, we closed or we made a high of about 6764. So you're talking about roughly, what, 600 points. So if you get 600 points, then you've got 9% or so. That's how much you're risking. Okay. So that's how you know what would be a normal retrace, and you would want to buy it when you get back there. And so if your portfolio can't handle a 9% risk, then you got a problem and you need to deal with it. As a matter of fact, not all portfolios are going to be like the S&P 500. Some are going to be more risky. And there's a way to tell what those are too. Let me show you how to do that. If we come over here and we go to our tools, reports, go to distance, and the distance here, we can actually give it a file and we can say, we could just put in the names too if we wanted to. And we could change this from swing points to a retest regen. So how far is it back on this time frame? Let's go say to the weekly, and we'll just choose a file. Let me go grab one. High flyers. Let's choose the high flyers file, which is a lot of high beta stocks, and let's generate the report and let's see what it looks like. And what you do is you come in here and you see, whoa, this one can come back 68% and still be normal. Okay, 65. And, here's one of the quantum computings, and you just go down the list. A battery company, 42. Here's some exploration, 61. Here's your whole ETF for the Bitcoin miner, 65%. So in other words, they can move this much and be a buy and just be normal. Now you'd have to go check the charts and see exactly what it looks like. And in this particular case, yeah, it looks about right. So, again, that's the way you know. And you could throw that in here and you could find it out yourself. And you could put any kind of file you wanted. If we took, for example, the mags, that would be a good one. See what the mags look like, generate that report. Here's what they look like. And most of them are about 20 to, well, I don't know, anywhere from 10% to about 25%. That's how far they would have to come back. Okay, as far as getting access to the Discord channel, right? Free access, first 25 people. There's your QR code. Just scan it in. If you can't scan it, type it in. And if you're really having troubles, give me a holler on support at TA Today, and I'll get some folks to get you in. That's what you need. All right. I hope to see you there. I hope I can help you, and I hope that you're ready for this market come this week. Take care.